when... Right, we are going to release the cows. Here we go. Come on in. Cows. What? Going out. When are the cows going out? When are the cows going out? That is the question that everyone has been asking me for the last week or so. And it's the question that's always a bit flexible every year. There's never an exact date. It's all weather dependent. But realistically, this year's been a very trying year for weather, hasn't it? We all know that. And I thought this video I'd give you a little bit of update about the weather situation on this farm and really talk about the impact on farming in general, because not everyone really appreciates it. I know the farmers will know what the impact is, but some people who watch this channel don't really get it. So I'm hoping to get the cows out probably midweek next week, hopefully, if possible, and that really depends on ground conditions. I am very lucky in the fact that I've still got some silage left, some grass silage, because there's a lot of people in my situation now who are scraping the barrel on their feed. I'll just walk you into the shed. We'll walk into silage clamp in a minute. I'm in the maize shed now. That is completely empty. Okay, look at this. I've got my old lovely Vicon fertilizer spreader parked up at the moment. I've managed to get 4 bags on. I've got 1 going out, 2 going out this afternoon. It's been raining again, so I haven't really managed to put much on. You can see the clamp's empty. Bit of mouldy stuff here. This is a bit of grot. Oh, look at that. That's what it goes like when it gets really old. It goes all mouldy and horrible. But we're right out. So I ran out of maize about a week ago. Now that's actually okay. We really aim to have enough maize to see us through till sort of end of March. That's generally, it's quite hard to judge it actually. So, and I'll give you an example of how it works with the maize. So when we got the loads in last year, our contractor, Claire Sampson, she said, just thought I'd text you and let you know how many loads of maize you had in this year. And the load was 20 loads, okay, off the fields we've got. That's 20 of those silage trailers. The year before, when we had a drought, there was only 14. So the difference between the weather, the impact on that harvest is quite considerable. But 20 loads is about right for us, and what we grow along in those 2 fields just is about right for our needs for the winter, feeding from probably mid-November right through till end of March. So I was expecting it to run out really. Ideally I'd have a little bit left, but we haven't. But here's Hazza. All right, Hazza, just telling them about the weather.
Yeah.
It's been pretty crap, hasn't it?
Very.
Right, so we're going to go next door and I'll show you what we're doing with the silage. So ideally now I'd be turning the cows out, but it's too wet underfoot still. There isn't that much grass in some of the fields. So what we're doing with the grass silage, as you know, we self-feed. Works for us, doesn't work for everyone. Self-feeding in here. So they're having the face. Also, I'm using a loader bucket. I haven't got a shear grab. Don't really need one most of the time. Just loaded up with silage, going in there with a loader bucket in the afternoon, putting it out in ring feeders where the silage would have been otherwise. And you can see here they actually prefer it out. So they'd rather have the maize. There's no doubt about that. But this is beautiful silage. Can you smell it? Got lovely
green bells.
That's a
down
nice silage.
Things which are absolutely horrible.
Yeah, that was hay that was made into silage, which wasn't very good.
Sort of haylage.
Haylage. It didn't work. It went pretty mouldy. They like that. But I was just going to talk to you really about the season we've had, because some of you are aware. Well, we've just got a bit of wet on there. You're aware of how wet. Whoever you are in England, you're aware of how wet it's been. But the impact's been quite considerable, really. And if you've got to cast your mind back to really last summer, I couldn't make my hay in June or July when I normally make it because it was raining. And then I thought, the rain would go, and it just carried on and carried on. And do you remember, we actually made hay in August. Here's a clip of us trying to get this hay right. And do you know what? It's just unbelievable. Now look at this in August, and it's still not hot enough really to dry this grass. I just keep going on it, but there's a point where I got to quit. I don't know when to draw the line yet, really. I've never had an experience like this making hay in all my time of farming, 40 years next year, and I've never, experienced a situation where I can't get the hay over the line. It's just getting it over the line, It's all right, it looks brown, it's fine, but look, that is pretty green, and if I put that in a bale, that's curtains. And I just can't get over the line. Look, flipping clouds in the sky. Give me a break. There's a sun up there somewhere. Now, I've never made hay in August, and it's very difficult actually, because what happens is the dews do come up in the morning and they get the hay damp again. So you're trying to dry it, but you don't have the amount of sunlight so late in the evenings to dry it. And so it was a real battle. And of course it was overcast because it was raining most of the time. In fact, there was a hay-nado as well, wasn't there? That was pretty awesome. There you go, have a look at this. That is big. Wow, quite a thing to see. I don't know whether you can really appreciate this on your camera, on the TV, but it's unreal when you stood in it. So really, it was trying last August to even make hay, but we've gone through the whole season now struggling. Really, rain, and the main impact on that from farming, from my point of view, is we've not managed to get any fert on or muck out really. So I'm thinking the grass is definitely behind for the grazing, and also we're going to be behind in the amount of grass we got for silage, because realistically we're not getting the fertiliser on in time to get that growth before it probably needs to come off in May, before it goes to seed. We have though got, because we had a hell of a crop of grass one year, I still got loads of silage left. Look, I've got, so we've got nearly, 1.5 bays. Now if they go out next week, I'm still going to have 1.5 bays, maybe one if I keep some cattle back inside for a while to feed like the heifers, but we're going to have plenty of silage to make up. So I'm thinking probably we'll be okay, because that's a lot of silage there, still there. Okay, some of it at the back's 2 years old, but that won't matter, it'll still keep. So we don't need to make so much here, so we could be all right. The other issue again is, right, we're going to go over this way. Harry, we're going to go over and look at the heifers in a minute. The other issue, of course, is bedding for next autumn, because I think there's a lot of pressure on, because the problem there is now is a lot of the wheat crops are looking really sick. A lot of the barley hasn't actually been planted. I'm thinking we're probably going to find that there's probably not a lot of barley straw around, because spring barley won't be put in. There's talk about people putting in maize instead. And if I pan round, like, you can see the issues here. Let me just pan down to Reg's. Down there, look, you can see big strips of dead. That brown is actually where his crop has died, where it's been underwater. Look at that. Poor old Reg, his last year of farming, I think, or of harvest, and it's not turning into a good one. Let me just pan across. It's greened up a bit over there, but you can see, look, again, that in that field, big bare patches there, and that's going to be replicated all around the country. So there's going to be other farmers out there that have got the same situation. Again, from my point of view, we have got quite a lot of straw left over. We overbought last autumn, by luck rather than judgment, and I think we're going to be all right, because we can carry that over to this autumn, where we're gonna, we've still got quite a few little bales in there stacked up. We're gonna be all right. Hay wise, we've got plenty there because we did make a bit in about May. Right, so let's talk about turnout then. So as I said, the cow's probably out next week. However, I got a really weird one this year, is that the heifers are going out before the cows. So here we are, this is our young heifers, these are our dairy replacements. Let's just walk down amongst them. Come on, Harry, you can come and judge them with me. Come on, girl. So these are all young replacements. There's a bit of a variety of ages here. Some of them are a bit young, like that one only got moved down here yesterday. She's a little bit small, but they're sort of up to, I don't know how many months old the oldest one will be. What number is that one there? Not 715, probably about 14 months old or something like that maybe. But they vary right through to quite a younger age. Is that an Angus there? Okay.
This one?
No, it's not an Angus, is it? But they're all a bit of a. There's probably 6 months age gap between the youngest and the oldest, or more. But they're all looking quite good. They've got their winter coats on. Look, you can see the winter coat. It's all sort of furry. Look at that. That'll all come off.
They're sort of brownish.
Yeah, the winter coat.
And then some of it is black more.
Well, they're having cake as well as silage. See, this one hasn't, not so much.
Yeah, but this one's got quite a thick one.
So the weird thing is, as I said to you, we're turning these out before the cows, and the reason for that is they've had a thing called Husk Vac, which is for worms. I think it's lungworm, and to get their immunity out after the final dose, they've got to be turned out within 2 weeks. Well, when we planned this dosage regime, because they have to have 2 doses 4 weeks apart, I think it's 4 weeks, and we get this, I think it's hard to remember now, 1 dose, then 4 week gap, and then another dose, and then a 2 week gap before they go out. But they need to go out after that second dose, 2 weeks after the second dose, to get some immunity, because they need to be exposed to the worm that's in the ground. Now the trouble is, when you're planning to do your dosing, you're thinking, well, by mid-April, early April, it's going to be dry enough to let them out, and everything will be out anyway. So I planned that. They had their first dose at sort of beginning of March. Now I find myself in a situation where I've got to turn them out, regardless, because I need to get that immunity in them, and I've got to do it right. Otherwise, I've wasted my time doing the dosing. So they're going to go out here tomorrow. And there's plenty of grass out there actually, but if we look at it, are you having a little cooch?
Yeah.
If you look over there, it's actually quite soft and sticky, and they're gonna mess up. You can see it's the runoff from the concrete partly there. Look, but there's plenty of grass. But really, I wouldn't be thinking of letting these out for another week.
That's the smallest.
I know, that's Titch, isn't it? 664. You see the difference.
Burping.
She's really small. She's only borderline old enough to be out here, I think. I might even let her out for a couple of weeks and pull her back. That one's a bit too small, I think.
Quite small.
Yeah. There's a couple there, I think, who do it. That one, I think, is a bit too small. She had the last Husk Vac. This is the other crazy thing, right? Some of these animals, like that 664, I probably wouldn't have dosed with Husk Vac if they hadn't changed the rules on Husk Vac. So we used to do a thing where we used to talk to the vet and we'd say, right, we've got six calves that are really about the right age to turn out. Can we have 6 doses of Husk Vac? And they would send them down. The supplier of Husk Vac has now changed the rules. So the minimum order for Husk Vac, I think, is 24. It's either 21 or 24, which for a farm like ours that calves all year round makes it very difficult, because I might only have 6 calves ready to go out, but they technically want me to order 24, and that's not going to work, is it? I'm going to have to, and it's 2 doses, mind. So, and they've got a short expiry, so you can't buy 24 for 12 cattle. You've got to, because by the time you go to the second dose, the first lot will be out of date. So it's made it difficult for us, and we're having to batch some up. I've got this calf licking me. We have done a deal with the vet, and they split them for some of the other farms, but one like that little runty one, I think that was probably done more because we needed to make the numbers up to get our dosage. rather than the reality of it needed doing. Are you wiping snot on my back? He is why slobber or
Cow
snot?
slobber.
Charming. You're charming, you aren't you? Right, we need to get you a new boiler suit, Harry, don't we? Because that we've only got one boiler suit. Look at the state. Dickies. Well, I don't think they make Dickies anymore. That's a collector's item.
Well, it's done the whole week and a weekend.
Yeah. We need to get you a new boiler suit.
That's alright.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been a long winter. I can tell you that for everyone, not just farmers, for everyone, isn't it? We're at the end of a long marathon. Do you know what? I'm just waiting to take the pressure off now. It's like letting the champagne out of a bottle or something, a cork out of a bottle, or coming to the end of a long drive after you've driven 200 miles and you know you've got 10 miles left. I'm feeling it now, really. I'm feeling like I've had enough of scraping cattle dung, feeding cows, just bedding down every shed, just generally adding hours to my day, and the routine of it all, the kind of, you know, I've done this since November. I've had enough.
Just my friends.
That's what keeps you going, isn't it? Not the work, but the kids like that. Look at him.
One of them's got the hiccups.
But yeah, as I was saying, anyway, I'm going to finish up in a minute. I've just had enough of doing this. I just want it over now. I just want winter over. I want to get these cattle out. I want to be doing some singing in the tractor cab, and 3 in 10. Harry wants me singing in the tractor cab, don't you? Don't you want me singing in the tractor cab? You do, really. I want to be out in the field. I've just had enough of being inside, and not inside a house, but inside buildings and on concrete and stuff like that. I want to be out doing some fencing. I want to be walking in the fields with the birds and seeing the hares and the rabbits and the what?
You walk with the birds.
I want to see the hares and the birds and the CGI Harries and all that stuff. He wants silage. He wants silage. You want to get your what's your car called?
Boris.
He's got a. What maker car is it? I forgot.
Honda Civic.
He's got a Honda Civic. Oh, this thing's biting my bum. He's got a Honda Civic. We need to get out in that field and rally round. We just need to live a bit. I want to drive the little 35 across the field.
It's like an island of concrete where it's just like...
We haven't been able to do anything for months out in the fields, and more so than ever, any year I can ever remember, I haven't been able to get out and do any fencing or anything. I haven't done any chain harrowing, I haven't done any rolling, done no groundwork, there's just done no basics. I just want to get out and live a bit in the fields, because that is where I like being. And on that note, I have to say, doing this routine every winter, I don't know how the guys do it that keep their cows in all year round. To think you've got to feed and scrape out and do that every day, 365 days a year, compared with me and my 5-month regime. Fair play to the guys. If they want to do that, that's great, but I couldn't do it. I like the fact that we can open the gate and let the heifers out and do stuff. Don't you?
Found favourite.
Is that a new favourite?
611.
Is it? Is she going to have a name? 611.
Or 280 doesn't it?
They're all pretty tame because they've all been used to being reared and stuff, haven't they? Don't they? Hey? Hello.
On the calendar,
Yeah.
on the calendar picture for April, it's actually drilling maize.
Is it? What,
Yeah.
on the one I did?
Yeah.
Crikey. Well, it's still technically possible if it dried up.
Although, a lot of the time you do it next month.
Yeah. I know.
We've still got a lot to do.
Well, some
like
people will drill
preparations.
maize now, innit? Further south. Yeah,
but
we've still got to
it's
do all the muck and everything.
better drainage.
Yeah.
Still got to do the ploughing and
I
everything.
know. Muck spreading. Right, we better go do some work, Harry.
Yeah.
Crack on. Right, so these are going out tomorrow anyway. That's where they'll be in the fields. The only worry I've got is we're going to stress out the cows, because these are going to go out. If you look across there, look, the cows are actually just up there. Oh, I don't want to focus. There's the cows. Look, now, how do you think they're going to feel when they're looking across and seeing these gills out in the field? What do you reckon?
Well, They're going to be a bit upset.
They're not be happy, are they? Be like you at school. If you saw all your mates in the playground, you were locked in. You wouldn't be too chuffed, would you?
No.
So
Actually, I'll probably just leave.
Leave what? Leave school?
Leave the lesson.
Harry, you don't need much of an excuse to leave a lesson, do you?
No.
You'd leave whatever you could. Yeah, so that's going to be the issue I'm facing with these, I think, is letting them out before the cows. I've never let heifers out before cows before, but it is just down to the clock watching. And as they say, you know, you can't really run a farm on a calendar, but I'm trying to do that with these, with just this Husk Vac treatment, and that's not the best plan really. But with this year, do you know what? You're lucky if you just get through it. We'll all get through it, won't we? We'll all get through it, but it's just.
She's really dinky, isn't she?
Yeah, she needs to go back and have a bit more protein. I think we'll have her out for a week. Yeah, I'm sure of it. What we'll do is we're definitely going to have her out for a week.
There's 3 here.
She looks a bit rubbish because she's got ringworm. Yeah, well, she's been Husk Vac. She'll go out for a week or two out there, and then we're going to pull. I'm definitely pulling that one back.
Maybe 650.
656, and that one's 650. These 3, I think they need pulling back to be inside, back along the track, and we'll put some protein into them. They're not big enough really, too small. But you know, hey ho. Right, anyway.
Using it as a scratching post.
We're going to love you and leave you. I'm about to run out of memory space. Harry's just going to do a bit of cuddle. Cattle cuddle. Cattle cuddle.
Here's what we could do with in here.
Hey?
Maybe we could buy one.
What?
A brush.
A brush. We do need to get a brush. If there's anyone's got a brush and wants to sponsor us and give us a brush for a cow,
We could put it just so.
we can put one onto one of the girders. That would be good on a girder there.
They do like
Farmer P got
scratches.
sent a brush, didn't he?
Yeah.
We're not going sent a brush.
Look in my
Someone wants to send us the brush, please send us the brush and we'll put it on there for the cows. How about that? Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
That's a bit mean. We don't have to send us the brush really. We could buy one.